Live from the Cougar Softball Stadium here on the campus of the University of Houston, the Legacy Sports Network brings you Deer Park Lady Deer Softball. As tonight, the Lady Deer one step away from heading back to Austin for the state tournament as they get ready to take on the Brazoswood Lady Bucs this evening in Game 1 of this best-of-3 series here from the University of Houston. Good evening, everyone. Chase Hernandez along with my broadcast partner Harold Flynn for this evening. And Harold, it's going to be a doozy of a ball game this evening as we get ready for this best-of-3 series here in this regional final. Yeah, Chase, it's both teams are playing very good ball right now. And, Brazoswood has a little motivation. Deer Park beat them early in the year, so hardest thing to do is beat somebody after you beat them once. Obviously, Deer Park, the defending 5A state champions, coming in this game after a 2-0 series win against Cinco Ranch last week. Brazoswood, on the other hand, they're coming off a big series win against Bel Air. They knocked off the #1 team in the state early in the playoffs and the Pearland Lady Oilers, so they have a lot to play for this weekend. Yeah, I watched some of the Bel Air game, and I'll tell you what, they handled Bel Air pretty easy, and I thought Bel Air was one of the better teams in their part of the bracket. So Deer Park needs to come out ready to play tonight. Of course, the Lady Deer are going to send out their starting pitcher this evening, Peyton McBride, as she's been solid all playoff season long, as she got both victories last weekend against Cinco Ranch. The freshman already verbaled to Texas A&M, surely not playing like a freshman in the playoffs. No, she's not. And I said I wouldn't want to face her. I don't know about you, but I sure didn't want to face her. It's going to be a good one here from the University of Houston tonight as it's Game 1 of this best-of-3 regional final between Deer Park and Brazoswood. We'll come back. We'll visit with head coach Kerry Osh and the Lady Deer. You're watching Deer Park Lady Deer Softball here on the Legacy Sports Network, brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Hut in Crosby.
If you're looking for the best selection of crawfish on this side of Louisiana, the Louisiana Crawfish Hut is the place to go. Our seafood selection will make you go home completely satisfied with our dishes, such as our oyster louie and hut platter, not to mention desserts that will cure your sweet tooth craving. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut offers any type of atmosphere you're looking for, whether day or night, 7 days a week with the best service you will find around. Come in and watch your favorite team on any of our 16 TVs. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut, located off Highway 90 in Crosby, offering the best that Louisiana has to offer here in Texas.
Busy in here.
Yeah. Progressive Mobile is really catching on. People can do it all. Get a quote, buy and manage their policies. It's great.
Well, what's with the music?
Dude, get a car insurance quote. I'll let it go to voicemail. Putting it on vibrate.
Middle pass.
Our giant store on your little phone. That's Progressive Mobile.
If safety is your goal, Fabinco is your gate. Fabinco, the world's leading manufacturer of self-closing safety gates.
This series against Brazoswood, a team that you've already played once this year way back in February. You got a victory in that ball game. What do you think from that team earlier this season? I think both of them are both teams are on that, and both teams are on the post, and you've got good control of that. So it's going to be a lot of that. They're going back to spread ranks that the third team ranked in the state except for the right now. You're going to have to get back to the rankings this week. But it's going to be a very contested ball game. This team gets the victory that's done. They think they want to get the victory. What do you know about how it's going to get?
This is not my home. There, I said it. They don't have pictures of my kids. They don't have my yoga mat. And still, I feel at home. Could it be the flat screen TV? The not so mini fridge? The different free dinner almost every weeknight? Or maybe it's all of the above and all the rest. Am I home? Nope, but it almost feels that way. Homewood Suites by Hilton. Be at home.
We've got the power to make things right. Mr. Electric will show you the light.
Looking for electrical help you can count on? Switch to Mr. Electric. We have some of the best trained electricians in the business, and they're ready to help you with any project, big or small. Best of all, with Mr. Electric, our work is 100% guaranteed. That's why so many people trust Mr. Electric.
We've got the power to make things better. Mr. Electric.
Mr. Electric, locally owned and operated by Brock Bim, 713-477-1770.
Lady Deer softball brought to you by Baskin-Robbins Deer Park. Baskin-Robbins Deer Park, come try one of our 31 flavors. And also brought to you by Deer Park Muffler and Brake, car mufflers and exhaust systems here in Deer Park. Sunrise Collision, shining on quality. Modern Plumbing, protecting the health of the nation. And by United Chiropractic, health and wellness from Dr. Dino and his staff. Chase Hernandez and Harold Flynn back here from Cougar Softball Stadium as we get set for game one of this best of three region final, as it's going to be Peyton McBride starting it off for the Deer Park Deer inside the circle against this Brazoswood team. Their lineup coming into this ball game for the visitors in the Brazoswood Lady Bucs, as they come with a record of 26-4 overall, 11-0 in District 24 5A play. Their head coach is Laura Altman. They'll send Bria Witten to lead things off. She'll be followed by Kelby Lanier, followed by Kelly Kincannon, Sarah DeCarlos. It's going to be Whitney Walton, Kennedy Fisher, Allison Gear, Janelle Ortiz, and Bethany Partlow, the starting nine for the Brazoswood Lady Bucs, as we get set here for the first pitch of the ball game, as Peyton McBride gets the start. Peyton in the playoffs, 26 2/3 innings. She's 4-0. She's pitched in 4 games, as she got 2 wins last weekend against Cinco Ranch, as she got both starts with the complete game in both of those outings. As it will be Bria Witten leading things off. First pitch will be high and outside, and we're underway here at the Cougar Softball Stadium. 90 degrees here in Houston, Texas, as the weather starts to warm up each weekend now. And it's a 1-0 count. McBride looks into her catcher, Joe Rivera. And it'll be a strike over the heart of the plate, and the count is even at 1 ball and a 1 strike.
Chase, I think the umpire called that high. 2-0.
Oh, it's going to be 2-0 now instead of 1-1. So lefty against lefty matches as we start. Swung on and missed, and there's the strike that McBride was looking for. The count now 2 balls and a strike defensively for the Lady Deer on the right side of the infield. Caitlin Plocek is at first. Lexi Fryers at second base, Rhonda Jarvis at third, Alexis Garcia is at short. In the outfield, Haley Harrison's in left, flanked in center by Devin Hebert. The right fielder is Elena Tinker. Behind the plate is Joe Rivera. 2-1 the count to Witten, the center fielder. She swings and foul tips the 2-1 offering and evens things up at 2-2. We're just underway here, top of the first inning. Lady Deer, the home team, they're down the third base side. As Brazoswood, the visitors here in game one, they'll be the home team in game number 2 of this series. They're down the first base line this evening. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to leadoff hitter Witten. She's the center fielder. This will be grounded to third. Rhonda Jarvis up with it, throw to first in time for out number 1.
Pretty good comeback, Chase. You go down 2-0 to their leadoff hitter, you come back and get her 3 straight pitches. That's pretty nice.
The freshman, and obviously her biggest start now to date here in this regional final. Probably with a couple of nerves in the first couple of pitches that she threw, but as you said, Harold comes back, gets 3 straight to get Witten to ground out to Rhonda Jarvis. I'll bring up Kelby Lanier, the left fielder, with nobody on and 1 out here in the top of the first inning. And that's going to be line past Jarvis at third, but it will trickle foul just before it got to the third base bag. It's one of those things that's tricky about the game of softball. You could hit it as softly as possible like that, thinking you're going to get a base hit, but you don't.
You get that third baseman playing way in, it goes by her until a little spin, it's still foul ball.
So the count 0-1 to Lanier. She'll be followed by the catcher, Kelly Kincannon, due up here in the top half of the first inning for the Lady Bucs. 0-1 pitch from McBride. Grounded softly right back to her. She'll spin and throw to first, and it's in time for out number 2.
Pretty good little spin play, look, like that.
2 outs now for the catcher, Kelly Kincannon, the 3-hole hitter for Brazoswood. Another lefty going against Peyton McBride here in the top half of the first inning. So nothing unusual in the game of softball. May be different in baseball. You see so many lefties going up against a lefty pitcher to start a ball game. Bride looks into Rivera. She's ready. Winds and deals the first pitch, and that's going to be a strike.
First little off-speed pitch he threw there, got him way out in front of that one.
Sarah DeCarolis, the shortstop, is on deck, would be next if the inning were to continue for Brazoswood. 0-1 the count as McBride looks in. Winds and deals the 0-1. This one's lifted in the air, right field. Tinker goes back, she's under it, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Peyton McBride to start off game 1 of this regional final between Deer Park and Brazoswood. Middle of the first, and Deer Park just now coming to bat. You're watching Lady Deer Softball, brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Shut right here on the Legacy Sports Network.
Busy in here.
Yeah. Progressive Mobile is really catching on. People can do it all. Get a close, buy, and manage their policies. It's great.
Well, what's with the music?
Dude, getting a car insurance quote, I'll let it go to voicemail. Putting it on vibrate.
Middle pass.
Our giant store on your little phone. That's Progressive Mobile.
If you're looking for the best selection of crawfish on this side of Louisiana, the Louisiana Crawfish Hut is the place to go. Our seafood selection will make you go home completely satisfied with our dishes, such as our oyster louie and hut platter, not to mention desserts that will cure your sweet tooth craving. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut offers any type of atmosphere you're looking for, whether day or night, 7 days a week with the best service you will find around. Come in and watch your favorite team on any of our 16 TVs. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut, located off Highway 90 in Crosby, offering the best that Louisiana has to offer here in Texas.
We go to the bottom of the first inning, and the Lady Deer coming to hit against Kennedy Fisher. Haley Harrison will lead things off for Deer Park. First pitch in the righty on the way, and it's a bunt attempt by Harrison, and she comes up empty, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. The starting lineup for the Lady Deer: Haley Harrison will lead things off in left, followed by Elena Tinker in right. Caitlin Plochek hits third. She'll be followed by Rhonda Jarvis, Lexi Fryer, Alexis Garcia, Pate McBride, Shelby Garner, the DP, and Devin Hebert due up in this starting 9 for the Lady Deer. 0-1 pitch to Harrison on the way. That's going to bounce up to the plate for a ball, 1-1. In the playoffs, Haley Harrison with 13 hits and 21 at-bats with 5 doubles. She does have 2 triples and 8 RBIs that leads the Lady Deer. Also with 8 runs scored, also number 1 in that category. Topping off, leads the team in hits as well with that 13 mark. 1-1 pitch misses high and outside for a ball to count 2-1. Haley really the juggernaut of this lineup. She's a very tough out at the plate for any pitcher to get out.
Oh, yeah, Haley, she puts the ball in play. She's got a good chance of getting on. She can fly down that line.
Future SFA Lady Jack looking to try to help her team inch closer back to Austin. 2-1 pitch from Kennedy Fisher. Slap down the left field line. That's going to go foul, though. And the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The dimensions here at the Cougar Softball Stadium, about 205 down the left and right field lines, about in between 210 and 215 to straightaway center. Not a specific mark on the field here.
Wind gusting out pretty good center field too out there. So
same as last weekend, wind blowing out from right field going straight out. As you see the first baseman, Allison Gear, standing right next to Fisher inside the circle. Looks like she's looking in to the catcher for some sort of signal before she gets ready to throw her pitch, with, especially with the lefty Harrison at the plate.
So it's pretty interesting little look right there.
You don't see that very often. Get you to the defensive setup for Brazoswood after this hitter, as Fisher winds and deals the 2-2. That's going to bounce up to the plate for ball 3 in the count, full of 3-2. Elena Tinker on deck. She'll be followed by Caitlin Plochek due up here in the first inning for Deer Park.
Good at bat right here.
Fisher looks in. She's ready. Payoff pitch on the way. This one's going to be right down the first base line, but that one will go foul, and it'll stay at 3-2. Brazoswood said their record coming into the ballgame, they were 26-4, actually 35-6 overall, 12-0 in district, 24-5A play. Harold, very familiar with this area here in the Houston area. You're a longtime coach in the Deer Park School District. That 24-5A in all sports, it's some of the best in the town.
And that's in every sport, so you better, like I said, you better bring it, because they're going to.
Payoff pitch on the way again to Harrison. That's slapped up the middle, and that's a leadoff single for Haley Harrison, and she does it again for Deer Park. Starts the game off right. First hit of the ball game for either team, and then brings up the right fielder, Elena Tinker. Tinker in the playoffs at the plate, 17 at bat. She has 5 hits with 2 doubles. She does have 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Has scored 3 times. She'll square around the bunt. It's a high for ball 1. So corners crashing in. First baseman Allison Gear is at first. Whitney Walton is the second baseman. Bethany Partlow's at third. Sarah DeCarolis is at short. 1-0 pitch to Tinker. She gets this one down. A perfectly placed bunt. And Gears only plays to first, and it moves over. Harrison to second. 1 out in the inning, and that'll bring up Caitlin Plochek.
Yeah, that's exactly how you do it. Kill that ball right in front of the plate. She has no choice but to go to first.
The outfield for Brazoswood in left field, it's Kelby Lanier, in center Bria Witten, and right is Janelle Ortiz. And behind the plate for Kennedy Fisher this evening is Kelly Kincannon. So 1 out for Caitlin Plochek. Last weekend had that big home run to get the scoring going in game 1 of that Cinco Ranch series. Takes the first pitch for a strike on the outside corner. In the playoffs, 11 hits and 19 at bats with that home run and 7 RBIs. 3 triples to lead the Lady Deer and 1 double. 7 RBIs and 3 runs scored. Righty Fisher ready, winds and deals the 0-1. That's high for a ball, 1-1. Head coach Carrie Oshin down the third base side, Erica Cantu, the first base coach for the Lady Deer.
Well, you know, Chase, they'd like to get a base hit right here and get that lead. That deflate them right there, right off the start of the game.
The 0-1, or excuse me, 1-1. That's high and outside for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Plowcheck with Rhonda Jarvis, the third baseman, waiting on deck. In games like this, like you said, very pivotal to score first. You want to be that team that's on the board early, especially with 2 good pitchers inside the circle. You want that lead to put the pressure on the other team.
Absolutely.
2-1, that's into right field, a base hit. And Harrison will have to hold up at third, and runners on the corners for the Lady Deer with 1 out as Plowcheck gets her 12th hit of the playoffs, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Rhonda Jarvis.
Yeah, that was a shot out there, and we didn't have a chance to score on that.
So here's Jarvis, 7 hits, 20 at bats in the playoffs with 3 doubles, 2 RBIs, and 5 runs scored. Has a chance for RBI number 3 right here. First pitch from Fisher, high and outside, ball 1. Plowcheck trying to create a little pickle there in between first and second, and she's going to get an easy stolen base. So heads up play right there for Brazoswood, not biting on the pickle move right there by Plowcheck, trying to draw a throw down to let Harrison score from third. 1-0's high and outside for ball 2. 2-0 with Lexi Fryer, the second baseman, on deck.
You know, it looks right now, Chase, the pitcher's a little rattled right now already, so jump on her while we can.
Fisher, who was solid in that series against Pearland and then against Bel Air last weekend. 2-0, this will be slapped to first. Harrison coming home. Here's the throw to the plate, not in time, and the Lady Deer out to a 1-0 lead. So just putting the ball in play was Rhonda Jarvis, drawing the fielder's choice with Allison Gear, the first baseman, playing in, and Harrison Speed, the real difference there.
Oh, yeah, she didn't have a prayer. I mean, you need to go ahead and take that out, get your second out, and, you know, give up the run.
It'll be an RBI for Jarvis. That'll be her 3rd of the playoffs. Moving to third is Plowcheck, and that'll bring up Lexi Fryer to the plate. Fryer, 7 hits, 17 at bats in the playoffs, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, a double and a triple. First pitch is a big swing and a miss. And Jarvis once again will take second base. So now runners at second and third, and a gapper right here will be an early 3-0 hole for the Lady Bucs.
Boy, that would just be outstanding right now.
Fisher ready, looks in, winds and deals. The 0-1. That's into left center field, a base hit. And it's going to kick past the center fielder. Here comes Jarvis, and it's 3-0 Deer Park.
Yeah, Chase, boy, that was a shot out there. I guarantee you. That's exactly what the doctor ordered right there. 3-0 lead, first inning.
The future Texas State Bobcat delivers a 2-run single, and it's 3-0 Deer Park early in the bottom of the first inning. Now bring up the shortstop, Alexis Garcia, to the plate. Garcia, the junior, heading to Sam Houston State the year after next, comes in the playoffs with only 3 hits and 18 at-bats. All 3 have been singles, does have an RBI and 3 runs scored. But back in Bryan a couple weeks ago at Manville, she got her first 2 hits of the playoffs, and they couldn't come at a bigger time to help that team come back in that 5-0 hole in that ball game. They would not be here without a player like Alexis Garcia contributing in that game.
It takes 9 people. It takes 9 people to play the game.
First pitch is she looks a square, and the first pitch is high for a ball, 1-0. So right now, if you're Kennedy Fisher, what are you trying to do inside the circle? You're down 3-0. You've been high a lot in your pitches. What's the mentality right now by her?
Well, you just got to settle down a little bit, take a deep breath, walk back behind the mound.
1-0 as Garcia punches at that pitch and comes up empty.
You can just tell by her facial expression right now, she's pressing really, really hard.
And this is something that Brazoswood is not accustomed to in these playoffs, as they were up against Pearland early and often, last week against Bel Air. Very uncommon territory for Lady Bucs. The 1-1. That's a called strike, runner going, and it's not going to be in time. A stolen base for Lexi Fryer. Count, though, scoreboard says 2-1. I thought the home plate umpire had called for a strike. We'll get the call, and it is 1-2. The signal from the home plate umpire. 1-2 pitch. Lifted in the air. Right center field. It'll be caught by the center fielder. Fryer is heading to third, though is going to be offline, and she'll advance as Garcia moves her over with 2 outs, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Peyton McBride.
Well, we need to see if we can get this run across too. Let's don't stop now, guys.
So McBride, who helped herself out in Game 2 of the series against Cinco Ranch with a 3-run homer, she comes in with 6 hits and 14 at-bats in the playoffs. 5 of them are singles, but she did have that 3-run homer. She does have 5 RBIs. First pitch high and outside for ball 1.
She can hit, and we pay her to pitch.
So she has to feel real good about this early 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Still plenty of ball game to go. Still has to do her job inside the circle. 1-0 pitch high and outside for ball 2. Shelby Garnham, the DP's on deck, would be next if the inning were to continue.
I'm sure she's thrown 19 pitches first inning already.
2-0 count, pitch on the way. High and outside, it's ball 3. So McBride, who leads the team in walks all season, she has 4 in the playoffs. Close to getting walk number 5. That 3-0's off the plate, and it's a 4-pitch walk to McBride. So runners on the corners again, 2 outs for Shelby Garnham, as McBride will be lifted for a courtesy runner. It'll be Kennedy Dillo coming in to run for Deer Park. As Garnham comes to the plate, 2 hits and 11 at-bats in the playoffs with a single and a double. She has 3 RBIs with 1 run scored.
Yeah, I'm really surprised the coach hadn't been out talking to her yet. You can tell she's really, really rattled right now.
Laura Altman, the head coach for Brazoswood, hoping that her star pitcher Fisher could get her team out of this inning only down 3-0. First pitch, lifted foul straight back and out of play. It's 0-1. The way Peyton McBride is thrown in these playoffs, 3 runs could be plenty, as she shut out Cinco Ranch in Game 1 of that series last week and gave up 3, but that's coming off not even a day's rest after throwing over 100 pitches. As this one almost gets over the catcher's head, and Dillo will move into second base. A good job by the catcher, Kelly Kincannon, keeping it from going to the backstop.
Yeah, that had another run written all over right there. It was a great play.
Of course, the Lady Deer getting the big out to end the series last week on that pass ball, and Joe Rivera coming up big, throwing out the runners. This one's lifted in the air, foul and out of play to the left side, and the count 1-2. Rivera, who does not hit regularly in this Deer Park lineup, but she is the catalyst behind home plate, only a sophomore.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as a catcher runs the team, and boy, she can. I've seen her get their attention before, and they don't pay attention to what's going on.
As a freshman being that bell cow behind home plate, doing exactly what she's doing, that's huge for any pitcher. This one's going to be in the hole in the left field. Another run will score as Shelby Garnham comes up with an RBI single. It's 4-0 Deer Park.
Well, the Brazoswood pitcher right now is not fooling anybody, and they're just teeing off on her right now.
So the Lady Deer not intimidated in this ball game whatsoever. They'll send their 9th hitter up to the plate. Here in the first, it's Devin Hebert. Hebert in the playoffs has 3 hits and 13 at-bats with a home run and 2 RBIs. Pops this one up on the infield, and the first baseman, Allison Gear, will make the grab to finally end the first inning for the Lady Deer. But they get 4 runs on 4 hits. They leave a pair of runners. We'll head to the second with Deer Park leading Brazoswood 4-0 here in the first game of this best-of-3 series in the regional final on the Legacy Sports Network. Lady Deer softball brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Hut.
We've got the power to make things right. Mr. Electric will show you the light.
Looking for electrical help you can count on? Switch to Mr. Electric. We have some of the best trained electricians in the business, and they're ready to help you with any project, big or small. Best of all, with Mr. Electric, our work is 100% guaranteed. That's why so many people trust Mr. Electric.
We've got the power to make things better. Mr. Electric.
Mr. Electric, locally owned and operated by Brock Bim, 713-477-1770.
Walk-Up Company has a combination that few fabricators can match. Extensive fabrication experience, a seasoned workforce, high-tech equipment, and financial stability. This provides customers with the knowledge that their fabrication jobs will be done right and completed on time. Their commitment to quality and customer satisfaction has made the Walkup Company one of the premier metal fabricators in the southwestern United States. So remember, when you need metal fabrication done right and on time, use the Walkup Company. The Walkup Company Metal Fabricators proudly supports local sports.
Well, we get ready for the start of the top of the second inning, and Deer Park leading it 4-0 over Brazoswood, as Brazoswood will send their 4, 5, 6 hitters to the plate. Sarah DeCarolis, Whitney Walton, and Kennedy Fisher do up against Pate McBride, who has a nice 4-0 cushion, Harold.
Well, you can't get any better than that. I mean, pitcher's just drooling out there. Just, hey, now she can just relax and let her defense help her. Pitcher's dream right there.
DeCarolis, the shortstop for Brazoswood, looking to get something going as they have to look to crawl back in this ball game. McBride ready, winds and deals the first pitch, and it's a called strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Every top half of the inning is brought to you by Baskin-Robbins in Deer Park. Baskin-Robbins in Deer Park, come by and try one of our 31 flavors. McBride had a 1-2-3 in the top half of the first. Gets DeCarolis to foul off the 0-1 offering. The count quickly 0-2.
You know, Chase, it's a big inning right here. You know, Deer Park come in here and shut them down right here and take that 4-0 lead. I mean, that'd be big.
For those that really don't know the rules of softball that well, after 5 innings, if you're up 8, that's a ball game. And right now, Deer Park already halfway there. And the way McBride has thrown these playoffs, she could end this one early tonight as she gets her to swing and miss for her first strikeout of the ball game here in the second inning. McBride last week, 19 strikeouts against Cinco Ranch. Gets one here in the top of the second.
Yeah, that was a beautiful changeup right there.
Whitney Walton, the second baseman, will come to the plate for her first at bat. Bride looks into Joe Rivera, getting the signs from the dugout. Winds and deals the first pitch high and inside for ball 1.
And for all those fans out here not here today and listening to us, well, they need to get out here tomorrow and support these deer.
Absolutely. Of course, some of the fans out at the football spring game this evening as the 1-0 pitch, I should say, hits the corner for a strike, 1-1. So that'll increase the fan support. So for some fans on a Thursday night to get away from work and everything, but that's why we do this for them, and we're glad they're tuning in this evening on our live video broadcast here on the Legacy Sports Network here of Lady Deer Softball. 1-1 will be fouled off and out of play to the right side. The count now goes to 1-2. Of course, we'll be back to our audio broadcast tomorrow evening. Same start time, 6:45. Our pregame will start. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bride ready, winds and deals. Into right center field. That's going to get over Fryer's head for a base hit. First hit of the ball game for Brazoswood belongs to the second baseman, Whitney Walton. That'll bring up the pitcher, Kennedy Fisher.
And she's making him make contact. That's what she wants. That was just barely over the second baseman's glove.
So Fisher, who hits for herself, just like Pate McBride does, one of the better Brazoswood hitters. Looks to get something back off of her counterpart. First pitch from McBride. Off speed, misses low for ball 1. Couldn't ask for a better night out here, Harold, in late May. You know, the weather is starting to heat up a little bit as we've had some unusual weather to start this 2013 calendar year, but couldn't ask for much better weather right here in the skyline of Houston. Foul tip, though, to first, not in time. Count evens at 1-1.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a little warm out there, but girls like that. Keeps the arms warm. You don't have to worry about wearing jackets.
Bride looking in, runner at first, 1 out. Winds and deals the 1-1. Grounded right back up the middle. Fryer there, flipped to second for 1, throw to first. In time, a 4-6-3 double play. And that ends the top of the second for Brazoswood as they go down in order. We'll head to the bottom of the second. 4-0, Deer Park leading Brazoswood. You're listening to Lady Deer Softball, brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Hut, right here on the Legacy Sports Network.
Won't you be good to yourself? And don't you feel like coming home? It'll be like coming home.
Some rooms feel like a fishbowl. But in our roomy suites, you can spread out and live a little. With breakfast, dinner, and drinks included, you'll feel right at home.
The time is now for live video highlights of your school's march to excellence.
News sets up inside of the pitch. High fly to left. It's up, it's deep, and it's going to be gone!
Legacy Sports Network brings you high-quality HD video broadcasted by the best in the business.
Handoff, Adam Taylor lunges to the end zone, touchdown! This is one of the most exciting things.
With all the runs, hits, scores, and more, we're building a legacy one game at a time.
I appreciate it, Gerald. You guys at Legacy do an unbelievable job.
Join us on pay-per-view or video live streaming your favorite high school and college athletics at LegacySportsNetwork.com.
Legacy Sports Network is going to be bringing this presentation to your home.
Going to the bottom of the second, 4-0. Deer Park leads it over Brazoswood after Pitt McBride gets a tailor-made 4-6-3 double play to get out of the top of the second inning. Something you don't normally see in softball, a double play turned up the middle.
You know, you couldn't ask for one big hop, flip, throw, just perfect. That's how you do it.
Top of the order coming up for Deer Park as they hit 9 in the bottom half of the first inning. And every time that the Lady Deer come up to hit in the 2013 playoffs is brought to you by Texas Lawn and Sprinkler. First pitch from Kennedy Fisher to Haley Harrison will be foul off and out of play to the left side. The count 0-1. Texas Lawn and Sprinkler serving the greater Gulf Coast region of southeastern Texas since 1952.
You know, Chase, I'm wondering, you know, Haley's looking in, and this first baseman's kind of looking if it's inside, outside, and she's moving closer to the line or away from the line on the pitch. Deer Park left-handers will pick up on that. They might be able to take some good rips at this ball.
Very smart hitters in this lineup, 1 through 9, as Coach Oshins pointed out to us multiple times. As Harrison singled and scored the Lady Deer's first run of the ball game. 0-1 pitch from Fisher. That slap straight back foul. And the count quickly 0-2.
You know, ladies, they don't look very aggressive right now. I mean, she came up here real aggressive, and I hope they don't sit back on this 4-0 lead. That can disappear pretty quick in girls softball.
You once again see the first baseman gear near Fisher at the circles. This one's lifted in the air high left field. And Lanier makes the grab for out number 1. Harrison retired for the first time this evening. And bring up the right fielder, Elena Tinker, made the first out in the bottom of the first inning, laying down a beautifully placed sacrifice bunt her first time up.
Absolutely. I think that's what her job is on this team, and she plays it just like she loves it. It's a team game, and she's the ultimate team player.
Fisher shakes off a couple times from her catcher, Kincannon. Winds and deals the first pitch. This one will be popped up, foul grounds. And coming over is the third baseman, Partlow, making the grab for a quick out number 2. So something that Fisher really needed going into this bottom of the second inning, getting 2 quick outs with no base runners.
Yeah, and she looks like she, whatever the coach said to her after the bottom of the inning, did good because she's coming up with a little different fire right now.
Here's Plowcheck. She singled and scored in the first inning as a ball gets away from the bullpen of Brazoswood down the right side as they already have activity going. Plowcheck also had a stolen base in that bottom of the first. Takes the first pitch for a strike inside, 0-1.
Yeah, Chase, she's already thrown 30 pitches, and that's 2 innings. That's a lot of pitches, even for, I know girls softball's a little different, but that's a lot of pitches.
0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. That drop ball fools Plowcheck at the plate, and the count quickly 0-2.
And like I said, you know, girls softball 8-0, 4-0 right now. They might be looking at tomorrow already.
Of course, it's different now in this series compared to last weekend. For both of these teams, has this series is spread out. They'll play Thursday, Friday, and Saturday rather than playing Friday and then possible doubleheaders. So Fisher may not be seen in the circle tomorrow.
That's true.
0-2 pitch high and inside for a ball in the count 1-2. Has a probable starter for Deer Park at the plate now, and Caitlin Plochek, just as capable in the circle as Peyton McBride. A solid 1-2 punch you need to have at this level to contend for state titles.
Plochek's so smart pitching. I mean, she doesn't have that blazing fastball, but she puts that ball right where she wants it.
1-2 pitch fouled off to the right side. We'll do it again at 1-2. So Deer Park back in the regional final for the second straight year. Last year, they defeated Pearland 2-0 over at Manville High School this time last year. Count still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch is high and inside for a ball 2-2 with Rhonda Jarvis, the third baseman on deck, would be next.
Yeah, Chase, that last year, that Pearland game, there's a lot of hard feelings in that game by both sides in that contest. So I know Pearland might have been looking over Brazoswood here.
2-2 pitch on the way. This one's hammered into left field, a base hit. Plochek starts the game off with 2 singles. That's going to be hit number 5 for the Lady Deer. That'll bring up Rhonda Jarvis, who had that fielder's choice RBI her first time up, just tapping it really to the first baseman. They had no play to get Haley Harrison at the plate.
Absolutely.
And time called, and
looks like Plochek might have hurt her leg or something.
Coach Austin will come over and see what the deal is with Caitlin. But going back to that Deer Park Pearland series last year, Deer Park Pearland, not the same lines as Deer Park LaPorte, but that's another big rivalry for those two schools. And for Deer Park to get the better half of Pearland to go to the state tournament is a big win for the Deer Park athletic program.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, you played in Deer Park, and there's no love lost between LaPorte and Deer Park. So anytime we go a little farther than them, we're pretty happy people.
Of course, this year, Brazoswood getting the better of Pearland, the #1 team in the state of Texas according to Max Preps. Max Preps coming out this week. Deer Park making the national rankings as they're ranked number 25 now in the nation. You've been in this school district for a long time. What does that say about this team that they're cranking the national rankings in a sport?
Well, the smaller leagues have really come on in Deer Park, and they've been developing players for the high school. And I know we got a reasonably new coach here, and I know she's been very, very active, third-year coach, and she's been very active in the younger kids and getting them involved. And I know they have young youth night now, and what's stuff we didn't used to have. A little worried about Caitlin here. She's not moving real good here.
Well, she's going to be coming out of the ball game. We'll have a runner coming in for Plochek, and she'll exit here in the second inning.
I didn't see what she did on first base there. She must have just caught the base wrong, and it's very easy to do. But
it's going to be Miranda Rodarte coming in to run. We'll see who goes in at first base, because Peyton McBride's the other first baseman. Right now, you don't want to take her out of the ball game to put her at first base. So
absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see where Coach Austin goes. But with the experience Coach Austin's had, she is actually also a former Brazoswood coach as well. Coach at North Shore at Sanjek, obviously the former Aggie. Her head coach, Bob Brock, in attendance this evening. She's going to have a go-to. She knows where to go with Plochek coming out of the ball game.
Oh, yeah. She's got a plan, and she didn't come in here without a plan. For every person, somebody gets hurt.
So here we go, back to action. Runner at first, 2 outs. Rhonda Jarvis at the plate, pops up the first pitch, foul grounds. Allison Gear will give away to the second baseman, Whitney Walton. And that'll end the second inning for the Lady Deers. They get no runs a hit. They do leave a runner. We'll head to the third with the score. Deer Park 4, Brazoswood nothing. You're watching the Region 3 final between Deer Park, Brazoswood, game #1 here in the Legacy Sports Network. Lady Deer softball brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Hut.
If you're looking for the best selection of crawfish on this side of Louisiana, the Louisiana Crawfish Hut is the place to go. Our seafood selection will make you go home completely satisfied with our dishes, such as our oyster louie and hut platter, not to mention desserts that will cure your sweet tooth craving. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut offers any type of atmosphere you're looking for, whether day or night, 7 days a week, with the best service you will find around. Come in and watch your favorite team on any of our 16 TVs. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut, located off Highway 90 in Crosby, offering the best that Louisiana has to offer here in Texas.
Lady Deer softball on the Legacy Sports Network, brought to you by Baskin-Robbins Deer Park. Come try one of our 31 flavors at Baskin-Robbins in Deer Park. and by Deer Park Muffler. Deer Park Muffler and Brake, car mufflers and exhaust systems in Deer Park. Sunrise Collision, shining on quality. And Modern Plumbing, protecting the health of the nation. And United Chiropractic, health and wellness from Dr. Dino and his staff. Get set for the top of the third inning. We'll have Shelby Garnham, the DP, coming into play first for Caitlin Plochek. So her night is over for the Lady Deer after she goes 2 for 2 at the plate. And Harold, that could come up to be huge as a loss in this lineup for Deer Park, as Caitlin, who is right there with Haley Harrison, hitting over 500 for the season, losing her bat, and she's 2 for 2 in the ball game. That could be huge coming up later.
Yeah, Chase. Plus, she's a really good fielder. I mean, you know, she saved a lot of runs over there by scooping balls. So, you know, that as much defensively as everything else.
First pitch of the third, grounded to Rhonda Jarvis, though across the diamond to Shelby Garnham for out number 1 as that retires Allison Gear on the first pitch she sees for Peyton McBride in the top of the third, and that'll bring up Janelle Ortiz, the right fielder. 4-0 Deer Park over Brazoswood. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Lady Deer. The Lady Bucs of Brazoswood, no runs, 1 hit, no error through 2 1/3 innings. As the right-hand hitting right fielder Ortiz comes to the plate. First pitch from Peyton McBride, low and outside for ball 1. McBride has only given up that 1 hit, but has faced the minimum here in the top of the third inning.
Yeah, pitcher's best friend at double play.
1-0 the count. McBride ready, winds and deals. Low and outside for ball 2, 2-0. Bethany Partlow, the third baseman, on deck, due up here in the top of the third inning as Brazoswood tries to get something going against Peyton McBride here in the top of the third inning.
Well, you know, they're not very patient hitters, are they? Well, they come up here hacking at it.
2-0 into center field. Here comes Hebert, and she makes the grab on the run for out number 2 of the third inning. Something the Lady Deer can do in the outfield. They can run down a ball as they have tremendous speed in left, center, and right.
Oh, I guarantee you. She probably thought she had a base hit right there. Man, Hebert just glided in there and made a beautiful little one-handed catch right there.
They'll bring up Bethany Partlow, the third baseman. Oh, but nobody on in 2 outs. Of course, Devin, the daughter of Gary Hebert, the band director at Deer Park High School. First pitch swung on and missed. The count 0-1.
Yeah, Gary always joked. She got all her talent from her mom.
McBride ready, winds, deals the 0-1. Swung on and missed, and the count quickly 0-2.
Well, she's got that little off-speed pitch going right now. Makes that fastball look really fast.
Fans making noise on both sides. Good showing by the Deer Park fans as well the Brazoswood fans. 0-2 pitch, rise ball misses high and outside, and the count 1-2. Brio Witt in the center fielder on deck would be next if the inning were to continue. One-two pitch from McBride. Here it comes. That's low and under the knees. Outside has it got Partlow to buckle at the plate as she wanted to at first, but she held back wisely. The count is now even.
I think it would have been over the plate. Should have swung at it. A little outside.
Two-two offering. That's going to be high. And so now Partlow has come all the way back in this count to make it full at 3-2 as McBride will take a little time outside the circle to regroup herself.
The players are telling us, hey, let us help you out here. You don't have to do it all yourself.
3-2 count, pitch on the way. In the left field, Harrison comes on, makes the grab on the run, and that's a 1-2-3 third for Peyton McBride of Brazoswood hitters. Middle of the third inning. It's still 4-0 Deer Park leading Brazoswood. Game 1 of this best of 3 series here in the regional final. You're watching Lady Deer Softball, brought to you by Louisiana Crawfish Hut on the Legacy Sports Network.
Busy in here.
Yeah. Progressive Mobile is really catching on. People can do it all. Get a clothes, buy, and manage
Well, what's with the music?
Dude, getting a car insurance quote, I'll let it go to voicemail. Putting it on vibrate.
Middle pass.
Our giant store on your little phone. That's Progressive Mobile.
That was quick.
This was you. You've been trying to get me to eat egg whites for years. You went and talked to McDonald's?
Oh, an egg white delight McMuffin.
Oh, I knew it.
The new Egg White Delight McMuffin. Freshly grilled egg whites and creamy white cheddar. Also available on any of your favorites. It's another new way to love McDonald's.
This is good.
Yeah, it's better than good.
Do you remember my latte?
Oh, yeah. But it's in the car.
That's good.
Chase Hernandez and Harold Flynn with you this evening from the University of Houston at the Cougar Softball Stadium. As we go to the bottom of the third inning, Deer Park leading 4-0 over Brazoswood as Lexi Fryer will lead things off. She had the big two-run single her first time up to draw first blood. Or excuse me, to make it 3-0, I should say, as the first pitch is low for ball one.
Deer Park hadn't got a cheap hit, man. They're hitting the ball hard.
Fryer with 2 hits against Cinco Ranch last series. Right to the 1-0, and that's going to be over the third baseman's head for a base hit. Fryer now 2 for 2 in the ball game with 2 singles. Starts out the third inning right for the Lady Deer, and that'll bring up Alexis Garcia to the plate.
See a lot of that in softball. Hit that ball on the ground, and the third baseman just watch it go over their head, and nothing they can do.
Pitcher's worst nightmare, a ball like that, as Garcia comes to the plate. She flew out to center field her first time up, but Fryer tagged from second to third on the play. As a liner right back to the first baseman on the attempted sacrifice bunt. Fryer back in safely, as that is out number 1. And that'll bring up Peyton McBride, the pitcher, who walked her first time up.
That was heads up by Lexi.
Good job by the second baseman, Whitney Walton, though, coming from second base, as she is going to be at first on that play already. First pitch to McBride. Outside for ball 1. Now Peyton with a walk. She saw only 4 pitches. Now 5 pitches she's seen at the plate, and all 5 have been balls. It shows you the kind of hitter she is, how patient she is at the plate, only for a freshman.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's going to be fun to watch for 4 years.
The 1-0 pitch finally hits for a strike, and the count evened up at 1-1. Of course,
so, how'd you like to be a pitcher behind her for the next 3 years?
Coach Gostian thrilled that she's going to be around. As the 1-1 pitch is high for a ball 2-1. Already, as we said, committed verbally to Texas A&M on the play for Joe Evans.
So the Aggies playing 6 o'clock tonight, I think
against
I saw.
Oklahoma, the number 1 team in the nation. Of course, Kristen Davenport, the state tournament MVP at A&M. As that 2-1 pitch misses low and outside for ball 3-1. With Shelby Garnham on deck. McBride with 2 hits last weekend against Cinco Ranch. But Evans going to get a good one here, McBride, but still got to wait a couple of years because the Lady Deer still has a lot of use for her. As that 3-1 pitch is high for ball 4. Another walk to McBride. So 2 on, 1 out for Garnham, the DP. She had an RBI single her first time up.
Well, this is what we want to see right here, Chase. And base runners and hitting the ball and running.
Kennedy Dillo will come back in to be the courtesy runner for McBride. And as we said, Harold, we'll go into the 4th inning, and the Lady Deer can scratch a few more runs across, another chance to end this one very early this evening.
Yeah, especially if our number 2 pitcher is hurt and she can keep her pitch count down, it's going to be even more reasons to get this game over with early.
First pitch high to Garnham, count 1-0. Garnham did not register a hit last weekend against Cinco Ranch right here at U of H. Of course, could that play some nerves into the Brazoswood side? You're playing at a college environment. Deer Park's already played here once. This 1-0 pitch lifted in the air, shallow left field, and the shortstop, DeCarolus, out to make the grab for out number 2.
Oh, absolutely, because they haven't played. And this is a big venue, and you come in here, big stands, holds for about 3,000 people. That's a totally different atmosphere for you.
So here's Hebert up. trying to keep the inning alive with 2 outs. Hebert 0 for 1. Last weekend only had 1 hit, scored a couple of runs against the Lady Cougars of Cinco Ranch. First pitch on the way. That's a strike over the heart of the plate. And a count 0-1. Of course, as always, when the Lady Deer come up to hit in the playoffs, it's always brought to you by Texas Lawn and Sprinkler.
You know, Chase, they got Devin out there. I mean, if she gets a hit, they're happy, boy. She patrols center field. I mean, just get out of my way.
0-1 pitch high for a ball. Of course, Devin, in the first game of the playoffs in the bi-district round against Dobie, went deep for her first homer of the season, so has shown the pop. And wind blowing out this evening here at the Cougar Softball Stadium. She gets one up in the air. Could get number 2.
Be a good time for it.
Harrison on deck would be next. This one's fouled straight back, and the count goes down to 1-2.
And she was right on that one.
So big spot right here for Kennedy Fisher, the starting pitcher for Brazoswood. She's given up a hit in every single inning. 6 total. Hasn't given up a run, though, since the first. 1-2. That's high. Makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, Chase, she looks a little tired. I mean, that's 40 pitches in 3 innings.
And the way, I mean, the weather also could be playing a factor too, as she's sweating quite a bit outside the circle. This is really the first game with a lot of heat.
Absolutely.
In these playoffs for these girls. 2-2 pitch is called, strike 3. It hits Hebert looking. That's the first punch out of the ball game for Fisher. Couldn't come at a better time for the starter for the Lady Bucs. We'll head to the 4th inning with the score. Deer Park 4 and Brazoswood nothing. You're watching Lady Deer Softball on the Legacy Sports Network, brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Shut down in Crosby.
The time is now for live video highlights of your school's march to excellence.
News sets up inside of the pitch. High fly to left. It's up. It's deep. And it's going to be gone.
Legacy Sports Network brings you high-quality HD video broadcasted by the best in the business.
Handoff, Adam Taylor lunges to the end zone, touchdown. This is one of the most exciting things.
With all the runs, hits, scores, and more, we're building a legacy one game at a time.
I appreciate it, Gerald. You guys at Legacy do an unbelievable job.
Join us on pay-per-view or video live streaming your favorite high school and college athletics at LegacySportsNetwork.com.
Legacy Sports Network is going to be bringing this presentation to your home.
We go to the top of the 4th inning, still 4-0 Lady Deer lead Brazoswood. Every top half of every inning is brought to you by Baskin-Robbins at Deer Park. Come by and try all 31 flavors at Baskin-Robbins in Deer Park. 4th inning, top of the lineup for the Lady Bucs. Bria Witten, Kelby Lanier, and Kelly Kincannon due up as they look to get something on the board against Pate McBride. Has faced the minimum through 3 innings, only given up 1 hit so far. And got out of that inning with a nice 4-6-3 double play.
I'm gonna bear down on this little girl right here, and this girl can run.
Witten grounded out to the third baseman Jarvis, her first time up to start the ball game. And the first pitch on this lefty-on-lefty matchup's a called strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Sun's starting to fade down outside the left field wall. Oh, 1 pitch. That's high for a ball. Evens things up at 1-1.
Trying to overthrow that a little bit, looked like.
Only the 31st pitch of the ball game from Pate McBride. 21 have been strikes. 1-1 count to Witten, pitch on the way. And that's hit sharply to short, but a diving play to her left by Alexis Garcia. And that is out number 1.
So let your fielders help you.
Web gym play by the junior shortstop, the future Sam Houston State Bearcat, as her future head coach in attendance this evening, Bob Brock. Happy with the results of that play by his future player. 1 out, and that'll bring it the left fielder, Kelby Lanier, who's 0 for 1, grounded out to McBride her first time up. This one will be bunted foul, third base line. Count 0-1.
Some of the best plays of the year I've seen right there. I mean, outstanding play. That ball didn't get 2 inches off the ground.
Of course, this infield for Deer Park, all Division I signees. It tells you a lot why they're 35-4 on the year. You don't see that very often, even in the powerhouses in this state.
Absolutely. And Deer Park's becoming one, I think.
0-1 pitch on the way. Slap right back to McBride, got a turn and deal, and nobody there. And that's an infield single for Lanier.
A little mix-up on the Deer Park infield right there, who was covering.
Heads up, though, by McBride, not throwing that ball away.
Just kind of swung so hard right there, and everybody just kind of thought it was, I got it, and nobody took it.
I'll bring up the catcher, Kincannon, to the plate. She flew out to right to end the first inning for Brazoswood. First hit for Brazoswood since the second inning. First pitch to left-hand hitting catcher's low for ball 1. So could we see 2 double plays in one game by the Lady Deer?
I guarantee you, Peyton's happy, would be happy to see one.
One on, one out, top of the 4th inning. As you see it, Deer Park leading Brazoswood 4-0. The 1-0. That's grounded first base side, but it's foul. He'll even things up at 1-1.
Chase, there's that off-speed pitch again. She's got him way out in front of it.
First base coach for the Brazoswood Lady Bucs, Stacy Noswander. And their head coach, Laura Altman, on the third base side.
After that first inning, Chase, this game's moving quite along pretty quick.
Already in the top of the 4th inning. Still under an hour into the ball game. As we're approaching 8 o'clock Central Time. 1-1 pitch, misses low and outside for a ball. 2-1. Of course, we've had listeners all throughout the country so far in these playoffs. I had one person listening overseas all the way in China. So I want to thank all of our many listeners that tune in each week for Lady Deer softball here in the 2013 state playoffs. 2-1 pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner. Runner going through to second, not in time. And that's a stolen base for Lanier. But the count 2-2.
Counts 2-2, right, Chase? They got 3-1 on the scoreboard.
They had 3-1 on the scoreboard. As the umpire at home plate does give the 2-2 signal. Lefty against lefty matchup. And time called at home plate.
If you've never seen girls softball, that lefty-lefty isn't quite as different as baseball is. They come from about the same spot, left or right.
Of course, you see many left-hand hitters in softball get that running start down the first base line. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. And that'll be the second strikeout of the ball game for Peyton McBride. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Sarah DeCarolis. She was the first strikeout victim back in the second inning.
I don't know about you, Chase. I don't know if you ever try to hit some of these girls. I want nothing to do with it.
Do not want to be looked a fool at the plate against some of these girls.
I guarantee you.
You may think it's easy, but it's a whole different story with the shortening of the distance and how quick that ball gets to home plate on you.
Absolutely.
First pitch rolled over foul, third base side.
Remember I told you later my daughter played a little bit and I couldn't hit 10-year-old pitching.
0-1, 2 outs, runner at second base for Brazoswood as they hit here in their top half of the 4th inning. The 0-1. And that paints the outside corner for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2.
There's that sweet little off-speed pitch.
taking her time back inside the circle. She's ready, starts her wind, the 0-2. Rise ball high, and it misses for ball 1. Looking to get the Careless to chase after one, and didn't. So it's 1-2 with Whitney Walton, the second baseman, on deck, would be next. And Brazoswood can continue the inning. One, two. Right back up the middle. Nice backhanded play by Fryer. Throw to first in time. And that ends the inning. 2 defensive standout plays by the middle infield for the Lady Deer in the top of the 4th inning to rob Brazoswood as they get no runs, a hit. They do leave a runner. Middle of the 4th with the score, Deer Park 4 and Brazoswood nothing. You're watching Lady Deer softball here on the Legacy Sports Hour, brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Hut in Crosby.
Hooray for mornings and things that make them good. Hooray for beaming smiles that make my day. Hooray for stops and goes. Hooray for colors and quick hellos. Hooray for surprises that walk my way. Hooray for friends I'll make. Oh, hey. Hey. Hooray for treats that make me smile, like magic stripes that fill the sky. Hooray for days that make me say, oh, hooray for today.
Well, the 2 defensive web gym plays for the Lady Deer in the top half of the 4th inning helps out the pitcher, Peyton McBride, as we go to the bottom of the 4th, and Deer Park leading 4-0. They at the top of their lineup due up Haley Harrison, Elena Tinker. And we'll see who's going to hit in that 3-hole because it is Caitlin Plochek, but Shelby Garner, the DP, has entered the game as this one's going to be a bunt foul down the third base side, and the count is 0-1 to Harrison, who's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Singleton scored in the 1st inning.
You know, take a couple of lines from Milo Hampton, a couple of Blue Star plays for Deer Park in that inning.
As he would say, holy Toledo, what a play.
Absolutely.
Harrison last week against Cinco Ranch had 3 hits with 3 doubles and a pair of RBIs. One of the best leadoff hitters you'll see anywhere in the game of softball at the high school level. As that off speed hung up there, grounded to second, and a quick play had to hurry to get at first base for out number 1. That's the kind of presence, though, that Haley Harrison brings at the top of the lineup. Ground ball to second base, and it's still a bang bang play.
Oh, absolutely. You better not even blink because she's going to be there.
So I'll bring up Tinker to the plate. Tinker 0 for 1. Flew out to the third baseman. Her last time up had that sack bunt in the 1st. As Maddie Gray is on deck, she will be the new DP in the ball game. First pitch to Tinker is a strike, and the count 0-1.
You know, Chase, this is a beautiful setting. You get downtown Houston in the background. You can't ask for a better setting than this for a softball game.
I mean, like you said, you got palm trees in left and right field. 0-1 pitch low and outside for a ball 1-1, almost like a tropical paradise, as you will, here in Houston.
Well, Deer Park's taking it for paradise right now.
But as you said, the beautiful Houston skyline right behind the center field wall. The 1-1. That's going to be grounded to short. Backhanded play by DeCareless to first in time. Another tremendous defensive play, this time for the Brazoswood side.
Wow, that is outstanding. I mean, Elena's not slow. I mean, that was a great play.
So I'll bring up Maddie Gray to the plate. She's hitting out for Caitlin Plochek, who exited the game in the 2nd inning after she got a single. Gray in the playoffs. Does not have a hit in 4 at-bats, has scored 1 run. Of course, in that Manville game in the top of the 7th, she was robbed of a base hit, a play almost identical to this last play by the shortstop here for Brazoswood to get Gray out. And when that out was made, you kind of thought, man, this just isn't Deer Park's night, but
Or is this Maddie Gray hitting right
This
here?
is Maddie.
13, right?
This is Maddie
Right.
Gray. Usually a designated hitter for Deer Park. Now hitting in the 3-hole for Caitlin Plochek. Time called, and once again a softball comes onto the field on the right field side. As Brazoswood continues to have some activity going in their bullpen. So Fisher has settled down now since the first. Has not given up a run. And the first pitch to Gray is taken for a strike.
She's got a little more pop on her ball, and she's thrown a lot of pitches, so.
Where she knows how big this game number 1 is in this series. Game 1 in a series always the biggest, no matter what sport it is or how long the series is, to get that momentum. 1-0 pitch, or 0-1 pitch, excuse me, fouled off to let the count now 0-2.
Oh, you're right, Chase. I mean, you go up 1-0, and your back's up against the wall, and boy, all the pressure's on you. And this is to go to state. This isn't just a series. This is to go to state championship in Austin, Texas.
That played at the University of Texas, where the Lady Deer captured the 5A crown last year. 0-2, softly hit right back to the pitcher Fisher. Throw to first in time, and that's a 1-2 inning for Kennedy Fisher, her first of the evening. We'll head to the 5th with the score: Deer Park 4 and Brazoswood nothing. You're watching Lady Deer softball, brought to you by Louisiana Crawfish at Game 1 of this best of 3, the Region 3 final.
This is not my home. There, I said it. They don't have pictures of my kids. They don't have my yoga mat. And still, I feel at home. Could it be the flat screen TV? The not so mini fridge? The different free dinner almost every weeknight? Or maybe it's all of the above and all the rest. Am I home? Nope, but it almost feels that way. Homewood Suites by Hilton. Be at home.
If safety is your goal, Fabenco is your gate. Fabenco, the world's leading manufacturer of self-closing safety gates.
Go in the top of the 5th inning. Deer Park still leading Brazoswood 4-0. Chase Hernandez and Harold Flynn with you this evening on a nice night from the Cougar Softball Stadium here on the campus of the University of Houston. As Peyton McBride gets ready for her 5th inning of work, she'll face the 5, 6, 7, 8 hitters, Whitney Walton, Kennedy Fisher, and Allison Gear, all due up against the freshman lefty.
Deer Park's got it going pretty good right now, Chase.
As we saw 2 outstanding defensive plays by the middle infield, the Lady Deer, in the top half of the 4th. Always a pitcher's best friend to have good defense behind you. As the first pitch to Walton is high for a ball. Walton got the first hit of the ball game for Brazoswood with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Has one of the 2 hits for the Lady Bucs. The 1-0. That's inside for a ball in the count, 2-0. Of course, every top half of the inning is brought to you by Baskin-Robbins in Deer Park. Baskin-Robbins in Deer Park. Come by and try one of our 31 flavors. The 2-0. Swung on and missed as McBride blows that past Walton. The count now 2-1.
Probably the best fastball she's thrown tonight right there.
Two-one pitch. Lift in the air, straight back. Rivera comes back and makes the play behind home plate. And a big out, number 1, and another outstanding defensive play, this time by the catcher Rivera.
I'll tell you what, Chase, I mean, if you've never caught before, you're trying to run back and you find the screen, avoiding players, the umpire, and everything else, and make that catch. That was right up against the wall.
And Rivera getting a little help from the wind right there, as the wind now blowing about right to left, but still blowing straight back, as that one looked like it was coming straight out of play. But she stayed with it, got behind it, and made out number 1 of the top of the 5th, and that brings up the pitcher, Kennedy Fisher, who grounded into that 4-6-3 double play to end the 2nd inning. Grounded down the third base line, and it will be fair. And a 1-out single for the pitcher, Kennedy Fisher, as that one was hugging the third base line.
Tell you what, Chase, I had a pretty good angle right here, and it looked pretty foul over here. But
as Coach Kiriashi comes out to plead her case to the home plate umpire, I mean, that was right down the line. We saw that early in the ballgame by Brazoswood as one of their hitters put it over Rhonda Jarvis's head, but it trickled foul at the last second. This one, it looked like it got right to the bag, and it looked like it took a left turn, but the home plate umpire saw it, which is kind of funny because there is a third base umpire down the line.
Right.
Of course, a bang-bang play to be made by any umpire as a courtesy runner comes in. It'll be Morgan Coffey running for the pitcher, Fisher. And Allison Gear will come to the plate. First pitch low for a ball.
Tell you what, though, Haley hustled over there really fast, got that ball up, held her to a single. That's a big play. People don't look at that. That's a big play.
Of course, Harrison stretched a couple of those plays into doubles in these playoffs. 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. The count even up at 1-1. It's what speed does for you in the outfield. Comes up big for you every time. Line and deal for McBride. That's fouled straight back into the screen. The count 1-2. Brazoswood 35-6 on the year. They were 12-0 in district play. The Lady Deer 35-4. They were 12-0 in district play. The Lady Deer defeated Brazoswood back in February in a 4-2 contest at Dolph Forest Field. And these two teams with experience against each other. This year as the 1-2 is fouled off out of play to the right side. We'll do it again at 1-2.
See those little one-hoppers up the middle. Let's turn 2 and get out of this inning.
McBride now up to 52 pitches, 36 strikes. Of course, this time around a playoff meeting to go to the state tournament, do you even look back to that previous game? Does that play a toll on these two teams as the 1-2 pitch bounces the plate for a ball?
Not really. I was so early this season, but you know, Deer Park's the defending state champion, and they beat them, and they still look back and said, well, I don't know, maybe we can't beat this team. So right now they gotta be really feeling it too.
Gear will square on the bunt, pull back. She'll foul off the 2-2 pitch once again.
Deer Park's outfielders don't think she can pull the ball, do they, Chase? They're way over in right field.
Huge gap in left center field right here for Gear. 2-2 again. That's going to be fouled off to the right side, and she's been late rather often in this at bat against McBride. But if she got one that left center field gap, all these runners would be running for days.
Yeah,
could get Brazoswood on the scoreboard.
It'll be a track meet just like that Tom Tellez track right behind us.
Janelle Ortiz, the right fielder on deck, would be next. Lefty McBride ready, winds and deals the 2-2 again. That's high for ball 3. So full count here for the first baseman, Allison Gear. Top of the 5th inning. The Lady Deer in front 4-0. All 4 runs coming in the bottom half of the first.
She's trying to overthrow a little bit now, Chase. Take a deep breath.
Payoff pitch, that's going to be fouled off to the left. And a nice at bat right here for Gear, making McBride work inside the circle.
Let her coach dance a little bit over there, didn't he?
So Rivera will go out and talk to Peyton McBride a little bit. Harold, you've actually taught some of these girls for Deer Park, and you know what kind of players that come through the system as you're around a lot of these athletic teams, and you know, these girls they've been so focused throughout this whole playoff run. I mean, it's an intensity that you really don't see very often through many sports.
Right. Well, you know, most of these girls in junior high played 5, 6 sports in junior high, had a good time playing junior high, and then, go to high school and you've got to make a decision. And apparently Deer Park, these girls made a really good decision.
Like we talked about a little bit, I'm sure Gay Sabatel, the volleyball coach, would love some of the height on this volleyball team for her team.
Oh, absolutely.
Or on the softball team for the volleyball team. As we get ready for a 3-2, gets swung on and missed a drop ball. And McBride gets her to chase for her third punch out of the ball game. So McBride wins that long battle at the plate with gear, and that'll bring up the right fielder Ortiz.
Yeah, that was a nice little bit of off-speed drop ball. That was really, really nice. And you have confidence to throw that pitcher on a 3-2? Man, that's a freshman pitcher out there? You sure that's a freshman out there?
She has grown up before our eyes in these playoffs. First pitch to Ortiz. It's taken for a strike inside. It's 0-1. Of course, she got roughed up a bit against Manville, and that was the game where everybody was rushing around to get up to Brian. And Coach Ashton told me a little bit at the softball banquet that she forgot her shoes back at home, so it kind of messed with her head. But after that rain delay, it was a brand new Peyton, as this one's popped up to the second baseman, Fryer, right there. And that ends the 5th inning for Brazoswood as they get no runs a hit. They do leave a runner. Middle of the 5th inning with the score. Deer Park still 4, Brazoswood nothing. This is game 1 of the best of 3 regional final here at the University of Houston. You're watching Lady Deer Softball, brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Show.
We've got the power to make things right. Mr. Electric, show you the light.
Looking for electrical help you can count on? Switch to Mr. Electric. We have some of the best trained electricians in the business, and they're ready to help you with any project, big or small. Best of all, with Mr. Electric, our work is 100% guaranteed. That's why so many people trust Mr. Electric.
We've got the power to make things better. Mr. Electric.
Mr. Electric, locally owned and operated by Brock Bim, 713-477-1770.
Lady Deer coming to hit here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Every time the Lady Deer come to hit here in the 2013 playoffs, it's brought to you by Texas Lawn and Sprinkler. Texas Lawn and Sprinkler, been serving the greater Gulf Coast region of southeastern Texas since 1952. Chase Hernandez and Harold Flynn here with you this evening from the Cougar Softball Stadium here on the campus of the University of Houston. As Lady Deer have a 4-0 lead, as Kennedy Fisher has settled down since that first inning, as she will face Rhonda Jarvis to start the bottom of the 5th. 4-5-6 for Lady Deer. Jarvis, Lexi Fryer, and Alexis Garcia all due up against Fisher, who's only given up 2 hits since that 4-run first inning.
Yeah, you can tell there's a little bit of a little confidence in her now, and which is good for her if she has to pitch tomorrow. So
Jarvis 0 for 2, but that doesn't have an RBI. 2-0 pitch, that's fouled off. Straight back into the net. The count is at now 2 balls and 1 strike. Jarvis with 3 hits against Cinco Ranch last weekend, a couple of runs scored. Another one of those D1 signees. That's hammered into center field, and that's going to be a diving grab by the center fielder, Bria Witten. And that's the second Blue Star play by the girls in blue.
That was simply outstanding. That was full sprint, straight at the mound, layout. That is outstanding.
And if that gets past Witten, that's maybe 3, maybe 4 for Jarvis.
Oh, absolutely. She's standing on third at least.
That'll bring up Lexi Fryer to the plate. She's 2 for 2 with 2 singles and has 2 RBIs. First pitch hits for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Outstanding play by Bria Witten in center field to start this inning. 0-1 to Fryer, bounces outside for a ball, evens things up at 1-1. You got to think Fisher gives up that pitch. She thinks, oh my goodness. You know, their 3rd time in the order for the Lady Deer, and it's hammered to start the inning, but defense comes up and bails her out there as the 1-1 pitch is outside and low for a ball, 2-1.
She's just kind of taking care of business now. Deer Park needs to step up here a little bit, letting their momentum get back to the Brazoswood here.
Of course, the Lady Deer, if they plate 4 in this inning, that will be it after the run roll. 2-1 pitch misses outside for a ball. It's 3-1. First baseman Gear comes close to the circle for a little word of encouragement for Fisher. The 3-1. That's high for ball 4. The third walk of the ball game for Fisher. And Friars reach base all 3 times. That'll bring up the shortstop Alexis Garcia. 0 for 2 on the game.
A little bit of that speed we want back on the base. Here we go.
Fisher ready. First pitch of the at-bat. Here it comes. Garcia squares a bunt. A beautifully placed bunt. Go to first. Not in time. That's a bunt single for Alexis Garcia, as she was robbed last time as she hit it too hard to the right side. This time she goes to the left and gets a bunt single for her first hit of the ball game.
Love to see those little running bunts because you don't know where to charge. You stay back. You charge and get one right between your teeth.
So now bring up the pitcher McBride. 2 at-bats, 2 walks on the ball game. Peyton with that big 3-run blast last weekend against Cinco. First pitch outside for ball 1, as it was an absolute no-doubter to right field. And time called. The catcher, Kelly Kincannon, will go out to talk to Fisher. McBride will go talk with head coach Kerry Austin down the left side. So a big spot right here for Fisher, 2 on with 1 out. And with 2 batters coming up that have some pop, and Peyton McBride and Shelby Garnham on deck. Cannot give up a floater right here to either one of these hitters.
Well, you know Peyton would love to go downtown right now. Pitcher on pitcher.
That's hammered foul left side.
A little late with that swing.
Count 1 ball, 1 strike. As Fisher asks for a new ball. Fisher ready, winds, deals. That's going to be fouled off to the left side, and nice play made in the Deer Park stands by one of the fans as he gets a nice ovation. The fans started to scatter a bit in the second level here at the Cougar Softball Stadium.
A great crowd chase. Really great crowd for Deer Park.
1-2 pitch to McBride. That's high for ball 2. Of course, no matter what sport it is, playoff time comes around, Deer Park fans travel just as good as anybody.
Oh, absolutely. And I remember last year the state tournament in Austin was packed.
2-2, that's high and inside. The count now full, 3-2 to McBride. Fisher now up to 80 pitches, 46 have been strikes. Payoff pitch. That's outside, and McBride has drawn her 3rd walk of the ball game. The bases are now loaded for Shelby Garnham.
Nice time for a little gap right here, wouldn't it, Chase? 3 runs come in.
Couldn't be at a better time for the Lady Deer with bases loaded with 1 out, as McBride will stay in to run. Garnham today 1 for 2. RBI single in the first. And now we'll have the courtesy runner. I think Coach Austin had possibly forgotten about it for a split second, as Kennedy Dillo will come in to run for the pitcher.
I think so, and we don't know how Deer Park's other pitcher is, so she accidentally steps on a base and turns her ankle. That could change the complexion of this little 3-game series.
So time called, as now Garnham will go out as the head coach Laura Altman makes her way inside the circle for a meeting of the infield. Lady Deer Softball brought to you by Baskin-Robbins Deer Park. Baskin-Robbins, come try one of our 31 flavors at Baskin-Robbins in Deer Park on Center Street. Also brought to you by Deer Park Muffler and Brake Car Mufflers and Exhaust Systems in Deer Park. That's Deer Park Muffler. And by Sunrise Collision Center, shining on quality. That's Sunrise Collision Center. Lady Deer Softball also brought to you by Modern Plumbing, protecting the health of the nation. And United Chiropractic Health and Wellness from Dr. Dino and his staff. So here we go. Bases loaded, nowhere to put. Shelby Garnham already has 1 RBI in the ball game. 1 out as Devin Hebert waits on deck. Here's the first pitch from Fisher. That's fouled straight back. Good cut by Garnham. The count is 0-1.
Yeah, she was right on that pitch.
As we said, game 2 tomorrow, slated for 7 p.m. Our pregame will get started at 6:45 here on the Legacy Sports Network. That will be an audio broadcast. This one's line to third, and a double play is made to end the inning for Brazoswood. As at third base was Lexi Fryer in no man's land, gets doubled off as the Lady Deer get no runs. A hit, they leave 2 runners. We'll head to the 6th with the score. Deer Park 4, Brazoswood nothing. You're watching Lady Deer softball, brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Hut, right here on the Legacy Sports Network.
If you're looking for the best selection of crawfish on this side of Louisiana, the Louisiana Crawfish Hut is the place to go. Our seafood selection will make you go home completely satisfied with our dishes, such as our oyster louie and hut platter, not to mention desserts that will cure your sweet tooth craving. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut offers any type of atmosphere you're looking for, whether day or night, 7 days a week with the best service you will find around. Come in and watch your favorite team on any of our 16 TVs. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut, located off Highway 90 in Crosby, offering the best
The company has a combination that few fabricators can match. Extensive fabrication experience, a seasoned workforce, high-tech equipment, and financial stability. This provides customers with the knowledge that their fabrication jobs will be done right and completed on time. Their commitment to quality and customer satisfaction has made the Walkup Company one of the premier metal fabricators in the southwestern United States. So remember, when you need metal fabrication done right and on time, use the Walkup Company. The Walkup Company Metal Fabricators proudly supports local sports.
We go to the top of the 6th inning. Deer Park leading Brazoswood 4-0. Chase Hernandez with my broadcast partner for the evening, Harold Flynn, joining us. As it's a Lady Deer in front of the Lady Bucs 4-0. As Brazoswood will have their 9-1-2 hitters coming to the plate against Peyton McBride, who's only given up 3 hits in this ball game with 3 strikeouts. Just picking up where she left off last week against Cinco Ranch. First pitch to Bethany Partlow, the third baseman, leading things off for Brazoswood in the top of the 6th inning. Every top half of every inning here in the playoffs. It's now brought to you by Baskin-Robbins in Deer Park. 1-0 pitch to Partlow. Popped up, foul, and out of play to the right side. The count evens up at 1-1. She flew out to left field to end the third, her first time up.
You know, Chase, poor Lexi, I mean, she's kind of caught in no man's land over there and just ripped right down third base line, and she just standing there, and that's softball.
1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Beautiful pitch right there from McBride. Getting Partlow way out in front of that offering.
Oh, that's sick right there, Chase.
It's just pulling the string right there by this lefty from Deer Park. The 1-2. That's low and off the plate outside for a ball. The count is even at 2-2. We're going to have to get her autograph before she goes to A&M. I mean, she's going to be awesome in College Station.
Absolutely.
And she's like we said, only a freshman, only going to get better.
Absolutely.
Being in the strength program with Coach Bull. As this one's lifted in the air. Center field, Hebert going back, still going. She'll watch this one go. It's a home run for the 9-0 hitter, Bethany Partlow. So after she was fooled on a pitch, she comes back and tees one to straightaway center field and gets Brazoswood on the scoreboard. It's now 4-1.
Well, you know, the good thing about that, Chase, it's, you know, she hit the ball, she had a good pitch, and it's only 1 run, it's not 2 or 3, so.
So hopefully we didn't put the announcer's jinx there on Peyton McBride as the first run of the ball game comes across for Brazoswood. And now back to the top of the lineup, and Bria Witten, who's 0 for 2. Her last time up, though, Alexis Garcia making a beautiful diving play To her left to Rob Witten of a single up the middle.
And she got that ball up in that little wind stream up there, and it wasn't coming back down. Turn and look at that outfielder, and she's looking up. That's not a good sign.
First pitch to left-hand hitting center fielder. She squares the bunt, comes up empty. And the count is 0-1.
Well, you knew Chase Brazoswood wouldn't want to lay. They ain't going to lay down. I mean, they're going to come out here. I mean, they're an outstanding team. So
0-1 pitch, chopper over the shortstop Garcia's head. And Brazoswood has something going here in the top of the 6th as the first 2 runners have reached. So back-to-back singles now, number 5 of the ball game, and that'll bring up Kelby Lanier, the left fielder.
Kelby had a hit last time up. Is that right, Chase, I think?
Yeah, singles. 1 for 2 in the ball game.
Just a lot of confident-looking Deer Park girls out there still. They're not. Their head's not down. They're up.
They've been in this situation time and time again. As the infield plays in right here for Lanier, the left-hand hitting left fielder. First pitch high and inside for ball 1. Harrison creeping in left field. She's playing really shallow as Hebert plays normal depth in center field and Tinker normal depth in right.
Chirped up pretty good on the bat, but that wind blowing out, she catches that ball, that could go over her head real quick.
1-0 pitch low, snap throw to first, not in time. And the count now 2 balls and no strikes. McBride now 69 pitches, 46 strikes on the evening.
You know, Chase, looks like they're kind of making her wait now. I mean, they're not letting her just thumb up here and pitch the ball, so maybe that's bothering her a little bit.
2-0, that's going to be slap foul left side as it hits the front of the Deer Park dugout. The count 2-1, so if Lanier reaches, the tying run will come to the plate and Kelly Kincannon. With the heart of the order for the Lady Bucs due up then. The 2-1. That's a strike on the outside corner. The count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Peyton McBride with 20 wins now on the season. 16 in the regular season, getting 4 in the playoffs. This one's grounded to third. That's going to bounce off Jarvis. And the tying run will be coming to the plate for Brazoswood with nobody out the top of the 6th inning. They're going to give her a hit on that. So 3 straight hits in the 6th. As Kelly Kincannon comes to plate, she struck out swinging her last time up. And Coach Erica Cantu will come out to the infield. Coach Carrie Ostian will have a word in the outfield with her outfielders. So interesting seeing 2 coaches to come out here.
Yeah, make sure everybody's on the same page. And I tell you what, I think I remember reading in the paper, Kelly hit a 3-run home run against Bel Air, if I remember correctly. So she's got some pop in her bat.
McBride in the regular season with a 1.63 ERA, as she was 16-1 in 23 appearances. Did have 1 shutout and 1 save as she pitched most of the games this season, as she was in 115 2/3 innings of the regular season. And she has been the workhorse so far in the playoffs, as most of the series besides last weekend has only been a 1-game playoff. As the mound meeting is over, the infielders and outfielders disperse back to their positions, and the 3-0 hitter Kincannon comes to the plate. So the Brazoswood faithful getting into it. Their fans start to get on their feet. Deer Park fans making some noise to the left as well. First pitch. That's going to bounce to the plate. That's going to get past Rivera. Throw to third will not be in time. That's a wild pitch. So there's runners at second and third. And nobody out.
Ball looked like it slipped out of her hand right there, Chase, didn't it? Because it didn't even get close to the plate. That was an interesting pitch right there.
And you have to remember Caitlin Plocek, the other go-to pitcher for the Lady Deer, has been taken out of this ball game. I'm not sure if she could re-enter in the ball game. As we saw McBride switch for Plocek back to McBride in the Manville series, but
yeah, I'm not sure how that works. I'm not. Since she was a position player, I don't think she can re-enter the game now.
1-0 pitch is a strike on the outside corner, 21. In that game in Bryan, McBride went to first base and then came back. So I think since she was still in the ball game in the field, she could go back inside the circle. So time called by Kincannon at the plate at the last second, as Rivera thought it was a little bit late.
I'm not sure if the umpire saw it. Looked like she called it pretty quick, and I'm not sure what the umpire was looking at. And it might have been the second base umpire that actually called him off.
Lady Deer, though, have something going in their bullpen. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. And the count now 1-2.
And that's the kind of pitch we're used to seeing out of. That is a fastball right there.
One and two the count to the catcher, Kincannon. Big pitch coming here from McBride with nobody out and runners at second and third. Lifted in the air, left center field. Harrison goes back on the run, makes the grab.
Great catch.
Run will score from third. It's 4-2, but a nice job by Haley Harrison running down that ball to get the first out of the inning.
When we talk about speed, it shows up again right there.
So that's an RBI for Kincannon on the sac fly. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Sarah DeCarolis, who's 0 for 2 in the ball game. A nice play by Lexi Fryer to rob her last time up. A play up the middle.
Chase, there's not a lot of outfielders go get that ball right there.
And left field going almost completely to center field.
Absolutely. Great catch.
Coach Gay McNutt's going to welcome her with open arms the year after next in Nacogdoches, that's for sure. So one out with DeCarolis at the plate. A chance to cut it to a 1-run lead with the runner at third base. Off-speed hits for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Outstanding pitch right there to start off this batter.
That's fouled off to the right side. It's quickly 0-2. As Whitney Walton, the second baseman, is on deck, waiting to hit next. So McBride could get a punch out right here to keep that run from scoring to third with one out. Would be huge for Deer Park.
Absolutely. That's what she wants right now. She wants this punch out right here.
Only 3 in the ball game so far. She's ready. Wines deals the 0-2. That's low and outside. Throw down to third. And Rivera loves that snap throw to either first or third base, as she's not afraid to launch it. The count now 1-2.
There's a big difference in this game, 42-43, Chase.
1-2 pitch. That's high. Rivera keeps it from going to the backstop as she just reaches high enough to snag that one. The count 2-2.
We talked about how valuable those catcher is. There you go, right there. Might have put her arm back in socket.
This will be the 21st pitch of this inning for Peyton McBride, as she's now reached 80 in the ball game. 2-2 pitch. That's fouled straight back, and we'll do it again.
I'd like to see her come back with that little off-speed drop ball right now.
Lefty against righty matchup. 2-2. Just misses inside, the count now full at 3-2.
Chase, I might be a little prejudiced, but that's a pretty good looking pitch right there, buddy.
He's probably just a little under the knees for the home plate umpire's liking.
Ooh, it was a good pitch.
3-2, 1 out, runner at third. McBride ready, winds, deals the payoff. Grounder up the middle, McBride fakes the third, throw to first in time for a big out number 2. So McBride couldn't get the punch out, but she does make the out inside the circle. Now bring up the second baseman, Whitney Walton, who's 1 for 2 at the plate. Her last time up fouled out to the catcher, Rivera, who made a nice play going to the backstop to make the grab. So, like you said, Harold, if you could keep it a 2-run game going in, only needing 3 outs to win game number 1 would be huge for McBride.
Absolutely.
First pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1.
And you know, Chase, you've seen pitchers that aren't very good fielders, and I mean, they can help themselves. They're another infielder after that ball's pitched. And boy, that's a good play. That's a hard play to make.
Lady Deer will have 9-1-2 coming up in the bottom half of this 6th inning to try to add some insurance. 0-1 off the plate, though, to third, not in time. Once again, we see the arm from Rivera. I gotta tell you, Division I coaches are going to love that arm. Even though Rivera doesn't hit, she's going to be a huge offensive tool for any school, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've seen, I mean, catchers hit 200. They don't care. I mean, they want them to be able to handle the plate, call the game for them. Coach's best friend back there. I mean, they don't have to call the game. They know what's going on more than that coach does.
And especially going to a school where the pitcher can hit really well, you can throw a catcher like Rivera back there that you're already going to have a DP somewhere else to hit for her. That's just going to make your lineup that much better.
Absolutely. And like I said, I'd take her on my team.
I mean, baseball or softball, it's one of the better arms I have seen at the high school level in years.
Hey, Chase, I got an idea. We'll start a college. We'll just take Deer Park's team. I think we'd
go.
do pretty good.
One and one the count to Walt, the second baseman. McBride ready, winds, deals. Grounder to short. Garcia has it, throw to first in time, and that ends the 6th inning threat for the Lady Bucs. But they get on the scoreboard as they add 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave a runner. Mill the 6 with the score. Deer Park 4, Brazoswood 2. You're watching Lady Deer Softball, brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Hut, right here on the Legacy Sports Network.
If safety is your goal, Fabenco is your gate. Fabenco, the world's leading manufacturer of self-closing safety gates.
Walk-Up Company has a combination that few fabricators can match. Extensive fabrication. Remember, when you need metal fabrication done right and on time, use the Walk-Up Company. The Walk-Up Company Metal Fabricators proudly supports local sports.
Bottom of the 6th as the Lady Deer come to hit. And as always here in the 2013 state playoffs, it's brought to you by Texas Lawn and Sprinkler, serving the greater Gulf Coast region of southeastern Texas since 1952. That's Texas Lawn and Sprinkler. Chase Hernandez, Harold Flynn with you here from the Cougar Softball Stadium. As Devin Hebert will lead things off. She bunts at the third base. Throw to first in time to get Hebert. And now she is 0 for 3 at the plate. And a 1 pitch out for Kennedy Fisher to start the 6th. Now bring it back to the top of the lineup, and Haley Harrison, she's 1 for 3. Singleton scored her first time up in the 1st inning. The Lady Deer would love to have her speed on base right here. With 1 out in the 6th inning, looking to get some insurance for McBride, who's 3 outs away from locking down game number 1 of this series.
Oh, absolutely. You never can score enough runs.
First pitch from Fisher. Outside for ball 1. For Brazoswood, they'll have their 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up in the top half of the 7th. It'll be Fisher, Gear, and Ortiz. And they have 1 hit in 6 at-bats combined by the 3 hitters in the ball game.
You know, that 4th one coming up is one that hit the bomb, so we don't want her to see her again.
1-0 to Harrison, and that's a strike on the outside corner. The count is even at 1-1. She'll be followed by Elena Tinker due up here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
There's a little more pep in the step in Brazoswood out there. You see them, so we need to put that down a little bit right here. Come on, Haley, let's go.
Fisher ready. Wines deals the 1-1. Lifted in the air. Center field, though, won't carry. And the center fielder, Witten, makes the ground for out number 2. That one looked like it had a little more jump on it off the bat of Harrison.
Yeah, I was surprised it didn't go any farther.
Especially with the wind blowing the way it is.
And that wind's gusting around about 15, 20, it looks like out there.
Harrison now 1 for 4 in the ball game. That'll bring up Tinker up with 2 outs. And she's 0 for 2 in the ball game. She was robbed of a hitter last time up by the shortstop, Dee Careless. As the temperature now has dropped to 82 here in Houston this evening. First pitch low for a ball. And it looks like Caitlin Plochek's on deck. She would be next if the inning were to continue. 1-0 pitch hits for a strike, evens things up at 1-1. So we could see the return of Caitlin in this ball game. So maybe she just needed a few innings to kind of get back to her normal self.
Yeah, I mean, boy, that's a good sight to see her walking around, no limp going on.
1-1, hammer to left. This one's up, and it is off the base of the wall, but it's just foul.
Wow, that was close.
Harold, that is right on the line where that ball hit on the wall. And the Deer Park fans thought that one was fair. So did we.
Wow, that's 2 calls that we thought one against, both against Deer Park, if you think about it.
So just a long strike to Tinker, 1-2 from Fisher on the way. That's high for ball 2. It's an unusual spot to hit a ball on the wall right there on the chalk line. I mean, you couldn't place it any better.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a yellow ball. It's a white line.
If you hit it just a little higher, it's off the foul pole. 2-2, that's hit to the right side and out of play. Man, oh man. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Lady Deer. 2 runs, 6 hits, no runs for the Lady Bucs. The 2-2, that's high for ball 3. So the count full at 3-2 at Plochek on deck.
Might be bringing Plochek in to little defensive purposes too.
Payoff pitch, that's high for ball 4. So Tinker reaches for the first time, and that will bring up Plochek to the plate. 2 for 2 in the ball game, did score a run in the first. And on that second hit in the second inning, she came out of the ball game. We don't know exactly what happened to her. We can't really speculate either. But she has re-entered here in the bottom of the 6th inning, as Maddie Gray hit for her in the 4th and grounded out to the pitcher. So Plochek, one of the best hitters on this team, up in the huge spot right here with a runner at first and 2 outs, trying to keep this inning alive. Hammer to center field, going back. This one's up, and it'll bounce off the wall. Tinker's being waved around third. Throw to the plate will not be in time. RBI single for Caitlin Plochek, comes off the bench and adds some insurance for the Lady Deer. It's now 5-2.
Boy, Chase, she ripped that ball off the wall. First pitch she saw, she didn't wait. She just took a hack at it.
So Caitlin Plochek, her 3rd single of the ball game. And now in the playoffs for Caitlin, that's her 8th RBI tying her for the team lead with Haley Harrison. And that'll bring up Rhonda Jarvis to the plate, who's 0 for 3 in the ball game, does have an RBI.
That is a big run, Chase. That is a big, big run. Now you got to put two batters on to even think about tying, bring the tying run to the plate.
And you got to think now, Pate McBride, a huge sigh of relief in the dugout, as we'll have a runner come in for McBride. She does have a little hobble in it, but as Maddie Gray will come in to run for her.
Feels a lot better after that RBI triple, or the RBI right there.
First pitch to Jarvis. Hammered straight away center field. Coming in and making the grab is Witten, and the inning is over. But the Lady Deer do answer with a run. On a hit, they do leave one runner. We'll go to the 7th. Lady Deer 3 outs away from getting game 1 of this best-of-3 region final series. They lead Brazoswood 5-2. You're watching Lady Deer Softball, brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Hut, right here on the Legacy Sports Network.
If you're looking for the best selection of crawfish on this side of Louisiana, the Louisiana Crawfish Hut is the place to go. Our seafood selection will make you go home completely satisfied with our dishes, such as our oyster louis and hut platter. Not to mention desserts that will cure your sweet tooth craving. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut offers any type of atmosphere you're looking for, whether day or night, 7 days a week with the best service you will find around. Come in and watch your favorite team on any of our 16 TVs. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut, located off Highway 90 in Crosby, offering the best that Louisiana has to offer here in Texas.
We've got the power to make things right. Mr. Electric, show you the light.
Looking for electrical help you can count on? Switch to Mr. Electric. We have some of the best trained electricians in the business, and they're ready to help you with any project, big or small. Best of all, with Mr. Electric, our work is 100% guaranteed. That's why so many people trust Mr. Electric.
We've got the power to make things better. Mr. Electric.
Mr. Electric, locally owned and operated by Brock Bim, 713-477-1770.
Jason Hernandez, Harold Flynn here from the Cougar Softball Stadium as you get a look at the Deer Park fans on the third base side as their team 3 outs away from getting game 1 of this best-of-3 series here against Brazoswood as Peyton McBride looks to shut it down in the top of the 7th as she will face her counterpart, Kennedy Fisher, to lead things off, followed by Allison Gear and Janelle Ortiz. Top of every inning brought to you by Baskin-Robbins of Deer Park. First pitch in the air, left center field, and this one will drop just out of the reach of the shortstop, Alexis Garcia, trying to come up with another Blue Star play. But it's a hit for Fisher, her second of the ball game. And the leadoff hitter is on for Brazoswood here in the 7th.
This way Deer Park's defense is. I mean, you expect her to come up with that ball almost.
That'll bring up Allison Gear, the first baseman. Gear 0 for 2 in the ball game. Struck out swinging her last time up. Courtesy runner will be Morgan Coffey once again for Fisher. Grounded sharply foul third base side. The count 0-1.
Said earlier, Chase, Brazoswood doesn't come up there to take a pitch. Boy, they come up there hacking at it.
And especially their last at bat of this ball game. And they're swinging at the first pitch. A lot of coaches will say, hey, let's take till we get a strike. But no, they're very aggressive. And that shows you why they're 35-6. They don't play down to anybody.
Absolutely.
0-1. In the dirt for a ball. Evens things up at 1-1. Right now 89 pitches. This will be number 90. And it just misses off the plate outside. The count 2-1 as you saw Rivera right there try to frame that one up on the corner as it just missed.
It's when you tell your players don't take the next one.
2-1 the count to Gear. Kennedy Fisher led off the inning with a single. Now Coffey, the runner at first. That's fouled straight back in the count now 2-2. The Brazoswood, who will be the the home team in game number 2 of this series. Game number 3, if necessary, would come down to a coin flip, I believe.
I do believe you're right, Chase. It's for home visitors.
All 3 games being played here at the University of Houston. 2-2. That's low, and the count now is full at 3-2. McBride taking a little more time now outside the circle to regroup herself. A big pitch right here. Looking for the first out of the inning, as if this hitter reaches, the tying run will be coming to the plate. Bride ready, looks in to Rivera, winds, deals the payoff. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and a big out number 1 to start the 7th inning after the leadoff hit. Second time gears gone down. The first time that McBride has a strikeout looking in the ball game.
Brazoswood parents don't agree with that, do they, Chase?
I don't think so. First pitch to Ortiz. That's a strike on the outside corner. 0-1.
Umpire's consistent. That's all we're looking for. I mean, he called two pitches in a row, same exact spot. Hitter has to adjust.
0-1 offering. That's high for a ball. Evens things up at 1-1. One in the left field, and that one will just go foul.
Gonna have to wait and see what the umpire says, don't we, Chase?
Another one just over the head of Jarvis that was hugging that line to the last potential second. And the count now 1-2. On deck is Bethany Partlow. Partlow had that solo homer to start the 6th, their last time up. That's going to be fouled off to the left side. We'll do it again at 1-2.
Pretty good job fighting off that pitch. That was an outstanding pitch that she fought off right there. Like to see her get it down in the zone, not up in the zone.
McBride looks in, ready, winds, deals the 1-2 again. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff single. Her 5th of the ball game, and now Brazoswood down to their final out.
Same exact pitch, a little off speed, and boy, she wasn't looking for that one.
So now bring up Bethany Partlow to the plate. 1 for 2, had that solo homer to get Brazoswood on the scoreboard in the 6th. They're going to keep this game 1 alive for Brazoswood.
How big is that one extra run right there, Chase?
After this, Harold and I want to have a quick post-game wrap of this ball game. Get you set for game 2 of this series as the first pitch is taken for a strike. McBride ready, the 0-1. Swung on and missed. And now the Lady Bucs down to their final strike.
Well, she's got that off speed going good right now.
Lady Deer fans on their feet to the left side as their team 1 strike away from needing 1 win to head back to Austin. 0-2, just missing on the corner. And the count now 1-2. Partlow reaches, it goes back to the top of the order for the Lady Bucs. Bria Witten, who waits on deck.
The Deer Park's catcher having a little conversation with the umpire after that pitch right there. Smiling, laughing at each other.
1-2 pitch, here it comes. Swung on and missed. Ball game over, and the Lady Deer win game number 1 of this best-of-3 series here in this regional final over Brazoswood, 5-2 on a complete game win by the starting pitcher, Peyton McBride, who gives up 7 hits in the ball game, only 2 runs on 5 strikeouts. So Harold, game 1 in the books, and the Lady Deer get a 5-2 win. Peyton McBride, complete game, as we said, 7 innings, 7 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks in the ball game, and 2 runs. Kennedy Fisher, 6 innings, 8 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 4 walks, and 5 runs scored in the ball game she gave up to Deer Park. But the big 4-run first inning is the story of the game for Deer Park.
Absolutely, you got those 4 runs plus some outstanding defensive plays.
So Deer Park earns game number 1 in this series. Game 2 gets going tomorrow at 7 p.m. 6:45 will be our pregame start here on the Legacy Sports Network. That will be and audio broadcast. Harold, nice job filling in for Tim. I appreciate you joining us this evening. It was a lot of fun having you here.
Oh, thank you, Chase. I really enjoyed it.
So for Harold Flynn, I'm Chase Hernandez. Thanking you so much for tuning into the ball game. Once again, Deer Park wins it 5-2 over Brazoswood, game 1 of this regional final. We'll have game 2 for you tomorrow on the Legacy Sports Network. So long from the University of Houston.